All right, hey friends and golf fans, how you doing today? It is Wednesday, 26th of August. Today's presentation is going to be a little bit different because I'm pre-recording it to check out a few things. Got nothing set up in the Amateur Club and Tour Society today. We had some apparent glitchy stuff going on there with the four settings there. We had a couple of guys shoot 19 under, 17 under there today, and then later I learned that it is said that a player's personal profile, preference settings can override the forcibles in a society, and apparently at 19 under par here, that's more than likely true. It's the same issue we found with the with the online multiplayer group things we were doing there, where and it was fine. We had the grouping get together. Everybody's coming to grip with the new game and the best they can, and trying different stuff in different settings. And the party host was setting all of the difficulty options to open, which would seem straightforward enough. You're able to use what you prefer at that time. You're not forced into anything other, or to be off, or to be turned on if you don't want it turned on. But it was all over the place for different guys who were experiencing different stuff. So it's basically the same kind of setup for the society. So if one thing is known to be defective, it's not a leap to expect that the society stuff is going to be messed up as well. All right, so now we've had a good 4 or 5 days into the game. Now we're still trying to search around to find that replication of our true sim play in the last game, where you only had a handful of different things to force off, or not use at all to make it true sim. Now we have a whole other animal here with 2K21. So I've come up with a few things. I'll take you through it just quickly. And the first thing I'm going to do is get into my player here. And no, that's not where I wanted to go. Now I needed to get into settings. There we go. All right, let's try this again. All right, the audio, the cameras, and stuff like that we'll get to, but the most important part of this here is it's a custom. I've set the swing for a master difficulty, but with the swing timing off. And if you read there, when it's on, downswing timing will impact the outcome of your shot, hook, and slice. And if you're playing in these higher difficulties there, you will be punished. And if you're off, the downswing timing is disabled. And what I want to do is go out and experiment a little bit to see, just how much you can get away with if your takeaway is somewhat offline or extremely offline. You're going to lose some accuracy even without the penalty. But I also want to see that if I really, really get crooked, or really, really, smack the stick hard through to try to create a very fast, or even, purposely go as slow, to see what the outcome of the actual shot is. So that's something I'm curious. And as you can see, the remainder of this stuff is off or disabled. Trying to stay with the idea of true sim. Even the A marker is off, which is also comes into play on the putting. Last evening, I took a different approach to my thinking, and actually made some inroads into getting on top of the putting. The very short ones are very, very sensitive, and the long ones, the longer putts, are as well. Um, but that was something that we had a little bit with the longer putts in the last game. So the wind display, of course, is just the circle with the arrow, and the clubs are displaying your carry distance as opposed to your expected total distance with, landing and rollout and so on and so forth. So anyway, this is how I have got myself set up. Cameras, just, we have the approach and putting cam on. I like to have the follow camera on for live streams and stuff, and then I can change the angles when the ball is in flight. But this other stuff, is either preference or just stuff you don't want, pre-shot, pro highlights, instant replays. During my live streams, I really don't want to see that. And if I wanted to, just re-show the last great, web gem of a shot or something like that, you can activate it manually. Display and HUD, again, most of that is preference. I have the distance and elevations in the little box in the HUD as opposed to in the middle of the screen where it would be on the marker, but with the marker off, you get nothing. So that's how that works. Graphics, controls, course designer, social. There's nothing much to go over there. All right, so we are going to first do here is we're going to head on out to the training area. I did upgrade my clubs. I have some nice TaylorMades. I got a boom boom driver. There are other TaylorMade clubs I want that are locked behind a sponsorship in the career, so I'll probably have to get to that some. All right, so the first thing we are going to do is we're going to go through this 10-shot swing calibration business. Yeah, we know. All right, so we're going to take 10 swings and see what happens. So I'm going to try to take 10 pure swings. That was probably a little fast because it went left. Definitely. And let's try to do a little better this time. Again, a little fast or possibly a little inside on my takeaway, which is more than likely too. And the thing is, if if this is your tendency, the game is supposed to help you correct it. So if my tendency is to be a little fast, then, theoretically the game should straighten them out for me. And I tried to be a little smoother with that. And I am still getting that big draw on that. Or a medium draw anyway. Now if I'm going to get a little regular, a bit of a draw and stuff to the left with a right-handed golfer, I'm totally good with that. I always hold the stick forward till a couple of heartbeat or a good heartbeat after the swing is completed, as if I was holding my follow through. Just like the golfer on the screen does. That's pretty much right on the nose, but it still moves a little left for us. That's a little less solid, maybe on the slow side, but it really doesn't give you the feedback on it. Felt like I contacted the ball on the slow side, but who knows. All right, one more. Yeah, I pushed that. I could tell I pushed that a little bit to the right, and then it came back. All right, so that's it for the calibration. Fine. Now we'll see what we can do with that. All right, now we are going to practice. All right, now we got a little bit of wind. All right, so I'm going to see if I can hit a nice one here. Yeah, got the 103% power. Along with that little bit of left at the top of the feedback is going to tend to want to take it left. One more time. And as you can see with that shot shaping or shot effect, whatever I turned off, you can see that pretty much keeps you nearly straight up and down. So one more time. That was right on the screws. You can see my backswing tends to come inside, and I come around on it. So yeah, I'm gonna get a little bit of a draw. That's fine. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to overpower this thing. I am really gonna smack this thing through and see what happens. You can see my hands come off it. All right. That seemed to definitely take it a very fast. Let's see if I can really get a very fast here. So as you can see with that setting the way it is, it does take the hard edge off of it. Now let's see what happens if we try to go slow. You see your hands? Yeah, it tells you when it didn't like your swing. Let's try a really slow one here, see what happens. See how his hands come off of it? That's how you know you went slow or very, very fast. Now what happens if I try to like really, really get crooked here? You see, you really, really gotta screw it up there for that to override. All right. Let's try it the other way. Now we're going to do that one more time, see what happens. Yeah. Starts left and keeps going left. All right, and let's see what happens when we try to do it the other way. Yeah. All right. So you got to be pretty close to hitting good swings. You know, if you really got to screw up, and I'm going to try to screw up just a little bit less. So as you can see, the diagonals, is really going to take you off target. So you can't override that forgiveness setting. Now let's just try to hit one nice here. Well, actually, no. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to take it against the wind. So what I'm going to try to do is put a little fade on that shot up against the wind. Now, when you do adjustments like that, it does narrow the up and down feedback straight. So, I think that wind needs just a little more help. I'm going to just center it on the edge there. And it should fight the wind and bring it back pretty much where we needed it. One more time. That wind could be like 8 miles an hour or something. All right, we're gonna just make sure. And it does try to bring it back. Apparently it needs more. There we go. Yeah, that's bringing it back to the target. Okay. So it's all different from the last game. They're putting that, shot shaping draw and fade on the ball there. It looks totally different. All right, the wind is down a little bit, so we're going to try to just take a little bit of that edge off it. And that's pretty much right on target. Now, we're not using the arcs or anything to set that up, the pre-shot arcs or any of the arcs to set that up. So it's a question of, just getting some experience with it. Now, if you hit R1, it should reset your shot. Yeah, back to center. All right. What we're going to do is try to take it a little bit out to the right here. And now we're going to go the other way. We're going to try to put a little draw on that. And that's pretty well on target. We can work with that. Maybe a little too much. Yeah, the wind's not doing a whole lot. All right, so we're going to pretty much like right in the middle of the gray spot there. We're just going to line it up right up there. Yeah, I think we got it that time. Yeah, boom. Right down the line. All right, so that's what that's about. Now we're going to get into the putting here a little bit. One of the guys I was playing with last night, he was having a bitch of a time with the putting. He just could not. Me and another guy were on there with him, and we were trying. Yeah, no, you got to adjust your thinking. So I'll see what I can show you here, if anything. All right, it's 2 feet down. Fortunately, I'm so far away I can't see it. Yeah, that's kind of stupid. That's not the putting practice I wanted. We can move it. All right, let's see what the next one gives us. All right, this is a little better. It's 35 feet. Yeah. No, that needed the full spot. Okay. See, when you bring it back, there's a point where it tries. I mean, you can force it through, but there's a point here, right about there, where it wants to stop you. And you want to stay within that. Which brings us to this little shorty here, okay? You pull it back, and it goes right to about there, and then it does, So at that point, you don't want to go there. You want to go right there. Yeah, I took it all the way back to where it's wanted me to stop. I should have just backed it off a little bit. And again, wants to stop you right there, but you only want that much. These are probably dead straight, so I don't know what I'm worried about. Now this is what, 98 feet away. Yeah. Yeah, starting me at 98 feet ain't helping me with my presentation here. The longer ones definitely need a little more trial and error and work for sure. Most of the time you're going to want to stop just short of where it just wants to, it just seems to want to stop you. Sometimes you're going to want all of it. Now, if you had the vibrate on, that's at what point the vibrate would start in your gamepad. If you had the meter on, that's where it would want to stop you too. But aim is secondary to pace. But you can just tap in them little ones. You just got to figure out what to do. And these long putts, especially with severe uphill or something like that, have always been a touchy bit of business. But that still needs some work. But the shorties are definitely, you can figure out what you need to do. You got to adjust your approach to things. But getting the pace right on the long putts is 3/4 of the battle. All right, folks. Well, that's what I got for you as far as changes I've made to the swing and what I expect and the results you might be able to get. So, yeah, you can play in the harder, actual swings. Just whatever you're doing, turn this swing timing thing off and start there. And I think what I set up here pretty much for the most part, duplicates our Golf Club 2019 True Sim experience. The putting needs some work. The draws and fades and ball shaping, and the creating punches, creating the backspin, to get some roll back, or to punch them up and let them roll a little bit more. That's all something we can work on. Getting on top of the putting is something we can work on, and I think once we accomplish that, then we can think about turning that swing timing back on, maybe leaving it at Masters, eventually getting us up into the Legends swing. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. So that'll be it for today. So all right, I wanted to keep this short today, show you the state of things, and I'll get off here, give this thing an edit, and send it through to Share Factory and get it published and uploaded up to YouTube. So I think that's it for the presentation today. I got to do a couple of other things, but I think I'm going to want to get out into career and see a little bit about what that's about. Some of the stuff I want, not so much the clothing, but the TaylorMade clubs, club set I have that I want to fill out, is going to require me to get into career and pick up TaylorMade as a sponsor. And I don't know what that's going to take, or how long I'm going to have to play, or how much grinding I'm going to do. That might be like a premium sponsorship that you get after many hours. Something tells me some of the other less desirable clubs will be more forthcoming quickly. Anyway, so that's it for this, and I'll thank you for watching, if you were watching.